Live from Brooklyn, New York, this is Stay Busy with Armon Sadler.
Well, you know that I'm the guy. I'm out here living life. I'm busy. Stay busy. Stay busy. Stay busy. Making moves and catching flights. So please don't waste my time. I'm busy. Stay busy. Stay busy. Stay busy, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Stay Busy with Armon Sadler, brought to you by the Revolt Podcast Network. This is the podcast where we have responsible discussions on the entertainment business and the entertainment culture. I'm, of course, your host, head honcho, vegan chorizo papi, founder of Bald Nigga Ballers, the Bald Nigga Bombshell, Chinedu, the only man to sit in front of Taylor Rooks and not tell a lie, Armon Sadler. Thank you all for joining us once again, episode 130. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to all of our audio platforms, leave a like, comment, share, tell a friend, leave a rating, all the various things that you can do on these various apps because it means a lot to what we are doing. And if you want some bonus, early, raw, unfiltered, unhinged content, hit the podcast OnlyFans, patreon.com/staybusypod. This week, I am extremely excited about who I have here, bringing some West Coast vibes to New York. Had to catch her while she was here because this was years in the making. Truly in the presence of greatness. You know, I connected with this young lady back in 2021 and have been constantly impressed and inspired by her grind, whether it's the 2 Degrees, the bylines in Billboard, Ebony, E! News, or Good Morning America, just to name a few. Whether it's founding her own platform, Remixed Magazine, working alongside artists with her PR company, Remix PR, starting her own podcast, Show Some Love, or hosting on Rap TV, Hot Freestyle, Rolling Loud, and currently the Suburban Podcast. Her resume is truly real enough for 2 millenniums. Through it all, she has the time to constantly be on the gym grind, travel the world, demand the absolute best from the alleged #RealLovers in the world via their R&B playlists, and most of all, just be a kind, down-to-earth girl. We met for the first time in Cancun last year, which is pretty crazy. We'll probably get into that a little later, but she's always been supportive of me and what I do, even if I sometimes don't respond to emails. Sorry about that. Finally joining the Busyverse and bringing some West Coast sun to New York City as it gets a little chilly. It's a little chilly now. The talented, multifaceted, lovely Chardonnay mommy herself, Tallie Spencer. Welcome to the show.
What an intro. Wow. Did you write that?
I did.
That was very well written. I think that was like the best intro anyone has ever done of me. Thank you for that.
I write sometimes. You know?
I see the writer is on display. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
I'm so excited. I love that you mentioned we met in Cancun. I feel like that's very like coded. Like we would meet out the country.
Insane. Like I was, I remember I obviously got there like Sunday afternoon that day. I'm looking through the group me. I see you're in there. I'm like, what the fuck? Tallie's coming?
It was so random.
Then I go to IG. I check your IG story. You're taking selfies in the like lobby of the resort. I'm like, oh, it's lit. I'm finally get to meet her, and it's in Cancun, not LA, not New York. We meet in Cancun.
Work trip for those who might be wondering. It was like part of Raising Cane's. They flew out media, and it was a great event. And it was like the fact that I got to connect with so many other journalists like on the East Coast. What a perfect backdrop, you know. I love Cancun.
Yeah, I love Raising Cane's. They flew me out to Chicago and Cancun in the same month, so a lot of love for Raising Cane's.
Yeah, they had a party out here for Fashion Week too.
Really?
A couple of days ago I saw, and it was like the CEO Todd. Great, he loves to party.
Yeah,
so
they be lit.
Yeah, he was lit. He threw another party out here.
That's fire. Yeah, shout out to Raising Cane's and shout out to you. How's the trip been so far? Well, what have you done? You just got here like yesterday.
Yeah, so I'm still in like tourist mode, you know, enjoying the little things out here. Like I took the subway today, and I got on the wrong side of it, so I was like on there for a stop, and then I got off. So I'm like, you know, enjoying the simple pleasures of New York, the traffic, the food, you know, the vibes. But it's been good. It's been good. I'm like, I forgot how many people I know out here, and how much like everybody's out here right now.
Yeah.
So it's the perfect place to just kind of like reconnect, be out here. I came out here solo, so I'm just like on the move for Fashion Week.
Yeah. Love that. Love that. Yeah. I typically don't do like too many fashion week events. Obviously, we're going to something later. But and I get the invites. But I don't know. It's just like I've never been like that like invested in it. But it's
Mhm.
always cool to see the pictures and see my friends doing their thing. So
Yeah, no, I feel you. It's like a complete like industry segue, honestly.
mhm.
It's like adjacent to music,
Yeah.
but it's not music necessarily. But
Yeah.
then they pull in like different musicians, like Cardi B, is having an event,
Yeah.
different things. And yeah, I'm out here basically a client of mine is doing a pop-up.
Mm.
They're an Afrobeats artist, but they're doing their own pop-up because they're into fashion too.
Nice.
So it's like interesting seeing all the worlds collide for
It's
sure.
fine. It's fine. Cool. Well, hope it goes well.
Thanks.
Let's jump into our lunch break chat. So I gotta admit, a lot of today's episode is gonna be inspired by your tweets.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're
I'm scared.
you're actually one of my favorite tweeters because I feel like you use the app how it's meant to be used. Like nowadays,
Tweet
you
my
got
thoughts.
yes, literally just being yourself, like posting pictures, talking about music, talking about real lovers, talking about travels, like talking about the gym, just like literally being yourself on the app. Because everyone I feel like is either trying to project an image or they're being an aggregation engagement account, and Twitter's lost the essence. And
Yeah.
so every time I see you tweet, I'm like, a real human being just being themselves on Twitter. It's so refreshing.
Oh, well, I definitely feel like I'm the type of person I just tweet my thoughts and like
Mhm.
forget about it.
Yeah.
It goes into a void, in my opinion. And then sometimes people will bring up my tweets in person, and I'm like, oh shit, I forget that there's people who like read.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always weird. People remind me of like crazy shit I've tweeted back years ago. I'm like, you literally I just post and go. Like I don't put too much thought into it. I'm not trying to be anything. I just be saying shit for real. So,
Yeah, that's how it's meant to be.
Yeah.
The curated stuff is like, ugh, can
Mhm.
we could take that somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. But a couple months ago you tweeted something that we disagreed on. Season 5 of You on Netflix.
Oh,
You didn't like it.
I didn't.
Why not?
I just thought every other season was way better.
Mm.
Season 3 was my favorite, honestly. And I just felt like by the time we got to season 5, it was low key the same old storyline that we've already seen, just a different character. And I feel like by season 5, I would have loved to see some like novelty, something new, something refreshing. And I didn't like the ending. I won't spoil it for people, but
Yeah.
it just, when a TV show has other series or seasons that are better, it's like you have to top it.
Yeah.
It's like an album, you
Yeah.
know? It's hard to top the debut.
Facts. Yeah, no, I think a show like that, it was tough to end it and for it to stay at the level it was. Like season 1 and season 2 were amazing. I
Mhm.
love those seasons. They actually kind of lost me a little bit with 3, so it's funny that was your favorite season.
Mhm.
But they brought me back in with 4 because I think 4 and 5 had really good twists,
They did.
and I was invested in those twists. Like I thought those were really well done. So it's interesting you don't like 5. I loved 5.
Yeah,
I
it
really
was
loved
okay.
5.
It was okay overall, but I had higher expectations,
Which-
honestly.
Yeah, I mean, again, they set the bar super high.
They
so,
did.
yeah.
They did. And that's the thing about coming out the gate, like with your strongest
Mhm.
material, It's like a new concept, new idea, and
Yeah.
then you kind of have to get innovative throughout the seasons.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah. We could agree to disagree, though.
I'll drop my beef with you for that. You're a football fan, right?
Somewhat.
Yeah, I think I've seen you at like Rams games, and I think I saw you at a Niners game once. Like, so
Yeah. So I've been I wouldn't say I'm like a sports fan,
Right.
but I do love attending events.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I love to be in the crowd and watching. I may not know always what's going on, but I like the spirit of it for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, I respect that. Yeah, well, football's back, so I'm thrilled about it. My Sundays are mine again. I plop down on the couch. I got my TV. I got the laptop. I got snacks. I got
Mhm.
drinks, and
Football Sundays. I have been
Yeah.
seeing my Trojans win.
There
We're
you
winning
go.
right now, so
yeah.
I'm a fan of when we winning.
Mhm.
I'm a Lakers fan. I'm a
Okay.
Rams fan. I'm a Trojan fan. All the LA West Coast.
Yeah.
Like I'm a supporter of the city.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, it's been obviously for the Rams winning Super Bowl a couple years ago, Lakers winning in 2020. It's been some time since we've been. I'm also a Laker fan, so it's been rough these last few years. But we got Luca now, so I'm very optimistic.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
I have yet to go to a game this season, but I will. I go thrifting a lot. Like that's
Right.
been my hobby lately, and I just found this like really cool like Lakers zip up vintage jacket that I'm trying to wear. So trying to go to a game soon.
Okay. Yeah, I'm planning to come out to LA one more time this year. And so I'm trying to decide, do I want to focus on trying to hit a Laker game, a Rams game, try to do it all while I'm there? So I'll let you know.
Might as well. We have all these stadiums now
Yeah,
too.
facts. Yeah, when I was there in January, I went to the new Clippers arena for a wrestling show, and that arena's like dope. Like probably one of the best arenas I've ever been in, if not the best. So.
Nice. What about Olympics? You can come for Olympics.
Oh, true. Yeah,
we can have everything going on everywhere.
I mean, LA is always just booming. There's always stuff going on out there. It's overwhelming. Like kind of like how you feel in New York with knowing so many people. Like every time I go to LA, I'm just like, I know this person, I know that person, and everyone kind of wants to see you, which I appreciate. But
right. It's hard. You can't even fit it in a day.
Yeah, because LA's big. Like
that's how I feel about New York. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm like, we can meet at coffee and then lunch and then post lunch and then, like it's hard for sure.
All right, what else? Billboard had their R&B and hip hop live show this past weekend. Leon Thomas headlined, Odio performed. Raven Lenae performed, Jello performed. I had a lot of fun there. Shout out to Billboard, all my people there. They had a great week. Their Power Plays event, Cardi B obviously popped out and they honored a bunch of people. But the show itself, have you seen Leon Thomas live?
Yeah, actually I did. I saw him with Sir at Hollywood Bowl.
Leon's that guy.
He's great. He's amazing. The most recent album, 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a little apprehensive about, because I think, and you probably feel this way too, like with R&B, people are very quick to like crown people. And so everyone's like, yo, Leon's next. And like, I liked him, but I was just like, I need to see another great album. This was after he dropped Electric Dust too. And then he dropped Mutt. And I was like, okay, Mutt's really good. And then I saw him at Wireless. I was like, okay, he's great live. Like the deluxe was good.
Right.
I'm sold. Leon is, I don't even want to say he's the next guy. I feel like he's the guy in R&B right now.
He is. I'd say that.
And there's a lot of people who people said were going to be the guy, and they've either just fallen off or kind of just disappeared. But he's really living in this moment. Like he just dropped the Yes It Is remix with Marsha Ambrosius and Money Long. And it's really good. It's really good. Like it's cool to see Yes It Is getting the love that it's getting. Because like, obviously Mutt took off. Not Fair has been like kind of, really popular, but Yes It Is my favorite Leon song. Like I love that song.
That was a slow growth one. A slow burner. I think the thing about Leon is that this has been in the coming for him for a long time now. Like the proof is in the pudding with him. Like he's been putting in the works behind the scenes longer than people think. As a songwriter first, and obviously having like Disney roots and being an actor. Like he's been in the entertainment show business world. So I think now that he's kind of getting like this mainstream attention, he's used to it, but in a different way. Like not for it being his own vocals, his own face, his own like identity. But I think that's the way you build a brand. Sure. Consistency over time is what leads to just people becoming like, oh, okay, cool. And he's going off a brand. He's not like brand new, coming out the gate fresh. This is his first album. Like, no, he's been putting in the work.
Yeah. I think he played it perfectly. Like he's learned enough. He's gotten talented enough to where he can really like focus on himself, and people are at a place where they can receive it because of the cosigns that he's gotten from the SZAs, from the Drakes, all that. And like he's literally just undeniably talented. Like for me, you listen to his music and you get it. You get why people talk about him the way they do. So I only hope greatness for him. I'm looking forward in all genres of seeing these new classes come up and kind of take over. And I think like he's setting the bar really high for anyone who comes after him. So a lot of love for Leon.
And the good thing about him too is he collaborates with people too.
Yeah.
Like he puts people on. He's somebody like, he has a great team around him, a team of like people who are also putting people in his path. So if you listen to Leon, you're likely going to be put on to somebody else just by, listening to him.
Absolutely. Yeah. So shout out to Billboard for that event and letting me see Leon Thomas again. I was singing my heart out when Yes It Is was on. I was a couple drinks in, just like I was waiting for it. And as soon as I heard that opening note, I was like, yeah, I'm
Start
here.
crying.
I'm here. I didn't cry yet. Not yet. Maybe one day.
The real lovers cry. No, I'm kidding.
We do. Don't worry. I have a whole segment prepared for the Real Lover bylaws, so we'll get to that. But first, you had a very funny tweet about this. Young Thug, man. The last 2 weeks of Young Thug has been a roller coaster. I'm a big fan of his. I'm assuming you are.
Yeah, I'm a Young Thug fan.
Yeah. I mean, it's
like asterisk.
Asterisk.
I mean, I don't know. What he's doing right now is just a lot to digest.
I went through a whole process with it where it's like the interrogation audio comes out, the jail's calls start coming out. Some of them are funny, some of them are just like, oh wow. But like I don't necessarily hold it against him, like the things that he was saying about people, like because like again, looking at it from a human standpoint, like even some of our closest friends, like we might say some things about them to our other friends, but we don't expect them to get out. And like, yes, he's on publicly recorded jail phone calls, but like jail calls aren't leaking all the time.
Right,
Like,
right, right.
it happened with Tory Lanez. Obviously, like Suge Knight records a podcast through jail phones, but like these calls aren't leaking all the time. So I'm really interested in like who is getting access to this and putting all these calls out. And
Man.
you know, he said a lot of things about a lot of people, and I think it would have been fine, but then he got on Twitter and started tweeting through it. And he was just doing a little too much. Like it was one of those moments where like you wish you could take one of your favorite artists' phones and just like lock it and change the password on them so they don't say anything. And like he had the right to speak up for himself, but I don't think the things that he was saying helped him. Like, you know, the whole narrative of Gunna being a snitch, and then you hear him in the interrogation saying what he said and everything he was saying on the phone, and his comments about Glorilla, his comments about Drake and Future, because now you're attacking people's like faves.
Yeah.
And you're saying, you know, something negative about a woman too. So
yeah.
Just didn't look good for him at the time. How did you feel when all of that stuff came out? Because I think there was so much excitement for him getting out of jail last October. It's almost been a year, which is nuts. And we've been waiting for music, and he hasn't really been dropping music. So everything we hear is just like subtweets.
Yeah, it's gossipy, it's chit-chatty.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it. I think he's been on like a campaign to destroy his brand, in my opinion. And I just feel like he had one of the strongest brands going into jail.
Yeah.
And coming out of it, it's like, low-key, he's on a worse run than Bobby Shmurda post-jail release, Like, where was the freestyle? Like, where was, like, you're supposed to do a first day out freestyle. Where's the music?
Yeah.
And I think that's what, would have saved him if he just low-key did what Gunna did, hasn't said anything about the situation. And, like, for good reason, because look how the tides have turned.
Yeah.
And I think it's really sad to see, like, to your point, yes, he wasn't expecting all of this to come out, but like, this is what you were doing the whole time you were in jail. And he's talking to his girl, Mariah, obviously, but it's like, then you also talking to other women, and those calls getting released. You're planning to have a baby behind someone's back. Like, just too much. And I didn't want this information. I really didn't. It's making me look at him differently. And it's low-key corny, if we're being honest.
Yeah, no, there was a point where I was like on Twitter less, because every time I opened the app, it was a new call, new audio, and it was, and there was so much discourse over it, especially when like the one phone call he had talking about Kendrick Lamar came out, and then everyone was like, "Oh shit, was Kendrick dissing him on Squabble Up?" and just all this stuff, and then it became a Drake Kendrick thing again. It was like, this is I just need a break from it all. Like, this is really annoying to me. And yeah, I would just want to hear music from you, Thug. So yeah,
It's a little gossipy. I feel like, the people did want the music from him. And I think it took so much away from him that it was like, you just seem like a chit chatter, like you're all talk. And now you're on the internet apologizing for what you said. And he did an interview recently, right?
Yeah. Okay,
yeah. So he was like apologizing on the interview, and it's too far gone now. Like, we know how you really feel.
Yeah, I'm torn on the interview. I listened to most of it. It's a long interview. It's almost 3 hours. I think I like that he chose to do that, because not enough artists, like outside of tweets or IG story posts, they don't speak up for themselves in that way. Like, he was very authentic in the interview, and I think because so many people had their minds made up about him from the jail calls and from his tweets, like, I don't think they received what he said in the interview the way that he intended it to be. Like, I think like his feelings about Gunna, the things he revealed about Gunna, like Gunna wanted to get out of his YSL deal, Gunna wanted a better deal. Like, his feelings on Gunna taking the plea deal and how that made him look. Like, he's valid in feeling that way. And I think it's a lot of people who are outside of the situation speaking on street politics and street rules who don't know it. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I understand.
Yeah, me neither
like,
am I.
Like,
neither am
I live in the suburbs of New Jersey. Like, I'm a good kid.
I just think it's like the optics of it, even because like you did used to look at Gunna and Thug as like a team, you know, like brothers. And so for it to kind of be this narrative of that, I just feel like it does kind of unfortunately forces, you know, the listener to kind of pick sides, and like it involves people that have nothing to do with it. You're forcing them to form an opinion about you regardless. And then you had all that stuff come out about like fake streams and bots and like sabotaging him. You know, it's kind of just like, what? Like, it puts perspective into music in a different way.
Yeah. And, you know, it really just shows like all this stuff is more than meets the eye, and it's more than what's on the surface. Like, you know, the whole unity of Atlanta. Like, we've always thought Atlanta was a super strong united front, even though they've had their internal beefs over the years.
Oh,
like,
Atlanta is crumbling.
Like Thug and Future beef several years ago. Lil Baby and Migos had their stuff. Like, you can go on and on. Like, Atlanta, like, yeah, they support one another. It's a community, and like they make great music together. But, you know, but behind the curtain, they don't all fuck with each other like that. And that's just a music industry thing in general. You'll see two people in a picture together. You're like, yo, I know you don't actually fuck with him. Like,
welcome to the industry. That's how it is a lot of the time. You know, you have to be like, you have to do things for the optics.
Yeah, there's politics and there's business, and you know, they were all getting money together. So, but you know, you hear like Thug helped Gunna buy his mom a house, and Thug helped Gunna buy his brother a car, and like let his brother think like that Gunna bought it. Like, so Thug really like put himself like on the line financially in a variety of things for those people. And so I get where he's coming from a place of hurt. I appreciated his authenticity and how human he was. Again, he has a lot of image rehabilitation to do for the people who maybe aren't as willing to give him the benefit of the doubt or accept like he's human. Like, we're going to have human moments. We're going to say something in the heat of the moment. Like, if I'm in jail for 30 months and I don't think I'm getting out, yeah, I'll probably start being really honest about the people in my life who maybe I don't think are doing what I would like them to do, or just a variety of things happening in the music industry. And yeah, and he even admitted in the interview, like, yo, I feel stupid for the things that I said, but in that place I was in, it was a really dark place, and you know, you kind of just operate differently. So I'm interested in where he goes from here. He did drop some music over the weekend, which was actually pretty good. So it's like, this is what you do. Like, when the narrative about you isn't, you know, the best, you drop some really good music, people will kind of be able to get over it, because that's ultimately what we go to.
Yeah, get in the booth.
That's it. That's literally it.
We don't want the Twitter fingers, you know? It'll be interesting to see what kind of collaborations he's able to do, because in the past it has been like, you know, Atlanta focused, and then he threw a shot at Kendrick catching strays. I don't know, you kind of got some West Coast like animosity now. It'll be interesting, but I think the best, you know, thing he can do is focus on the music and just make it good so that nobody can talk shit, you know?
Yeah.
Did you listen to the Metro Boomin album?
I did, yeah.
Okay, what'd you think?
It was cool. Cool. I liked it. There was stuff on it I really liked. I feel like the idea was great, like kind of taking us back to that era. It could have used a little refinement. I think there was some things that were like, the idea were better than the execution on certain songs, but there was some stuff I really liked on it. It was cool to hear some of those throwback artists, you know, the Travis Porters, the Roscoe Dashes, the Young Dros, and then him kind of bridging the generations, having like Lil Baby and Quavo on there, and yeah, and then some new acts that are coming up too. So I thought it was overall pretty good, pretty long, which that's kind of just music nowadays. Like, a lot of artists are going to drop these 2-disc super long projects.
Yeah, like the deluxe is like longer sometimes than the original.
Yeah, but it was good. How about you?
I thought it was cool. It didn't have much replay value for me, in all honesty. I loved that it transported me to like an era in time, because I was like, it feels like I've heard this before. But I thought it was a cool concept. And then Thug was featured on it. And it was like one of the first like features he did post-release. And I was like, Thug, like you got to come a little bit harder than this, you know?
yeah.
So I had mixed feelings. There was some songs I liked on it, but I haven't listened to it since.
Yeah, I'll admit I haven't gone back to it much either. I have like from this summer there were like a couple releases that have stuck with me so much that I listen to them damn near every day. Like Givion's album, I play that almost every day.
Oh my gosh, me too.
So good.
Me too.
So
That's
good.
like my daily car ride album.
We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there. But yeah, so Thug, in short, I just want to hear new music, man. These last couple weeks have been very exhausting. And obviously it's like the stuff happening with the celebrities and then the people outside of it who are sharing their opinions on things that kind of just make it a lot. And I don't know if you deal with this, but obviously being a journalist and loving music, like everyone wants to come and talk to you about it. And it's just like, I'm not too invested in this. Like obviously I keep up with it for work. And it's kind of unavoidable on my timeline, but I don't necessarily have like, I don't feel the need to really like, what is my opinion on this really matter?
Right.
But when he sat down for that interview, that's kind of when I was like, all right, like, let me tap in and like hear from the source. It's always good to hear from the source and see someone control their narrative. Because when you don't, people make the narrative up for you.
For sure. I mean, it's entertainment too at the end of the day. Like, I don't know. I love watching interviews too sometimes. So just hearing like what's going on, being in the know, like you said, it's not like our opinions change the situation, but I think it is like the entertainment industry, and this is going to impact his music for years to come. So as a Thug fan, seeing how this all plays out, like, I'm tuned in, but I'm also like, I'm forming an opinion. So we'll see.
Yeah. Next up, Iceman episode 3 was this past weekend. Before we talk about that particular episode, how have you felt about these Iceman streams that Drake has been doing?
Well, it's innovative. I'll give him that. I really like the creative concept and execution behind just trying something different. You know, I'm like, we're in an era where, streaming is like very big right now, obviously. And I think artists are tapping into that side. You know, we see Drake do interviews with Aiden Ross all the time. People sit down with Kai Cenat. Like, that's the day and age that we're in where people are just being themselves on these live, streams. I think with Iceman, it's been interesting to like see Drake take that approach because I think he's one of the first to like go this direction. So it's cool because it's a lot of content that comes out of it and a lot of discussion, and it's like whatever pocket of the internet you're in, something from the stream is it's likely to hit your timeline. So points for like creative concept. Yeah,
it's cool because like it's a rollout. People have wanted a real rollout from Drake before. Like he'll announce the project, he'll drop a single, he'll do a bunch of features. I thought the Certified Lover Boy one with the billboards was cool and like
memorable.
He does little things, but like this is probably the most engaged rollout that he's ever done. And then there's like actual storytelling with the Pinocchios and all the different stuff in the Iceman theme in the streams, and it allows people to come up with conspiracy theories,
right,
get all analytical, and people love doing that with him already. He can post a selfie and someone's be like, yo, that angle he posted, it means something. But yeah, it's like the creative direction behind it, I give them a lot of credit for that. So Iceman episode 3 this past weekend, the new music that came out of it was Somebody Loves Me Part 2 with Party Next Door and Cash Cobain, and Doghouse with Yeet. How have you felt about these records and just like his music that he's been dropping really ever since this Iceman era got going?
Honestly, fire. Like, I am an unbiased fan. And I do think, like, what did I miss? I really liked that song when it came out. Which one with Central C? That's a replayed song in my car. So I haven't like gotten a chance to listen too much to the new ones. I listened to the one with Cash Cobain, Somebody Loves Me Part 2. Because I love the original. I really loved the collab album, actually. Like, I thought it was great. So, and I'm an R&B girly, so, but it's growing on me. I'm like not mad at it at all. I don't like every single Drake song that comes out. So you have to pick and choose. But the thing I notice with me and like Drake music, it always grows on me. I'm not sure if that's from people just playing it all the time. You're going to hear Drake when you're out and about, and that causes the familiarity aspect. But outside of that, I like the music. I do. Yeah.
I liked Somebody Loves Me Part 2 because like it's an actual remix. It's not just adding a verse to the same like structure of the song. They completely changed the structure up.
That's a good point.
Like, and that was dope because people want old remixes. Like back in the 2000s, we would get a song we really liked, and then the remix would be different, and it'll be like, yo, do I like the remix more or the original? And these days lately, it's like, all right, let's just add this poppin' person to this song at the end or at the beginning. But they really like switched it up. Cash flipped the sample super well. Party took him to church at the end. Like it's a really good dope record. I wish it dropped a little earlier in the summer, because there's been the whole conversation of what the song of the summer is. And I think had we had some time to live with this, it could have been in the conversation. But overall, I like it. The Doghouse with Yeet, I'm not like a huge Yeet guy. That's really for like the YNs, I feel. Like Drake appealing to those kids who like the rage music, the Playboi Carti stuff, the Ken Carson type stuff. But this is probably like of their collaborations, because they did I Don't Give a Fuck on For All the Dogs. And then another song from Yeat's album like 2 years ago. I forget what it was called. I like this one the best of the songs they've done. I don't know how much I will replay this, but it's cool. Like, it's not my favorite version of Drake. Like, I love R&B Drake. I love Afro beats, house Drake. I love lyrical Drake. But like this rage, YN, mosh pit music type Drake, it's not my favorite version of him. So.
Is that the one that had the Julia Wolf?
Julia Wolf, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I heard that and I thought I clicked on the wrong song at first. I'm like, what is this? And then but then that intro is Julia's vocals, and I was like, oh, I had to Google her. Who is Julia Wolf? She's like a goth like singer, and I just think he makes the most interesting choices sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it has the shock value. It has that factor of being like, oh, this is gonna get people interested at least or talking. So I can appreciate, honestly, when an artist is just creative, versatile, tries something new, and works with different people, you know, puts people on. Like right now, I looked at Julia's Instagram and she has like 100,000 followers. So it'll be crazy to see in like even just 2 days, it's going to go up to like 300K. He's like, he got the Drake stimmy.
It's still real. People said it was over. It's still real.
For sure.
But it's funny, this episode, like, it was very critically received by fans. Like, after the stream was over, people were like, yo, that was a waste of my time. That was bullshit, blah, blah. Like, I know why they said that, because leading into the episode, there were a couple, like, accounts that people think have some cachet or in the know who said, like, he was going to drop the red button finally, and they assumed it was a Kendrick diss or a UMG diss were coming. And so I think with Drake, people have really struggled to manage their expectations lately. Like, this album, Iceman, it's definitely a turning point album for him after last year. And I think going into every release, like, some people want to hear more about the beef and see him either admit the L or where he's feeling, and some people don't want him to talk about it at all. And so they're all battling one another for what they want, and not even necessarily assessing the music that they're given, but assessing what it isn't, because it wasn't what they expected. So it was funny to me seeing people like really upset at episode 3. I was like, that was fine. I thought the storytelling was cool. I thought the snippets he played were cool. I thought the music was fine.
And it wasn't drastically different than the other streams.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I feel like do you watch it in entirety, or do you just kind of watch clips?
I jumped into that one late because I was watching the football game that night too. It was a busy night.
Okay.
So I jumped into that one a little late, but I still caught like an hour of it. That was like the longest one that he did.
Really? And do you like sit there and like just watch it, like fully immersed, absorbed, or do you got like other things going on? Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm tapped in because it's clear he's telling a story, and you know, again, they're all the conspiracy theories. I kind of have my idea of what he's getting at, but I really want to like see it through and look for all the hidden meanings and stuff.
I feel you. So. I love that. I'm very much a clip person. Like, I have ADHD sometimes, so I can't focus on one thing for that long if I tried. You know, I'll watch it and then I'll have to watch the clips afterwards, and like I'm a reader, so I'll read the synopsis, I'll look at the pictures and the images, but it's really hard for me to watch like long form content, honestly, unless it's like a movie. But even then, it's still like, it's hard for me to sit through
No,
sometimes.
I respect it. If it honestly, and obviously, he's one of my favorite artists of all time, if not the favorite. So, like, for him, I'll do it. If it was someone else, I'd be like, I don't know if I'm gonna lock into a fucking 105-minute
Yeah.
stream with all these deep meanings and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
with him, like, because I knew going into it, like, we were gonna hear like 3 new songs. Then he ended up teasing like 7.
Oh wow,
So
yeah.
we heard a lot of music, but. Yeah, I was into it, but
I like it.
I don't fault anyone who didn't want to sit there for that long period of time and really hear everything he had to say. But it was cool.
Blame the ADHD generation. I look forward to like the little TikTok recaps
Yeah,
of people who
yeah.
can summarize it.
Mhm.
Those are the talented individuals
Mhm.
in society, okay? Because they really get to the point. They
Yeah.
point out all the things, and I'm like, how did you summarize this like
Mhm.
2 minutes after it dropped? And
Yeah.
like all the hidden 10 Easter eggs you
Mhm.
missed. And I'm like, wow, this is talent.
And then they work pretty quick too. Like you'll have those recaps by like the next morning. I'm
Yeah,
like, yo,
yeah.
shout out to y'all.
Right. I live for those. That's what I like to watch after
Yeah.
the fact. Mhm.
I want to ask you on the topic of Drake, because this has been a big topic with him the last, I guess, like 2 years. You as a journalist and as a publicist, like his lack of talking to traditional media and the people that he
Mhm.
does choose to speak to. What's your perspective on that?
Ooh, that is a great question. I'm glad you brought that up. I I kind of understand his perspective sometimes from
Yeah.
like not wanting to speak to traditional media. He's not trying to go in a curated route. He mentioned not wanting to do Apple with Zayn because he's like, yeah, all those curated questions. Like, I'm just trying to be at a place in life where I'm talking to somebody with life experiences and we can
Mhm.
talk about everything and this and that. So I get it. But at the same time, the criticism has been that he doesn't talk to people from the culture
Right.
and he's avoiding like hard conversations or real conversations about things that would matter. And I see the criticism. I personally feel like I understand why he avoids it because I think maybe a lot of those questions he isn't prepared to answer, and I don't think that he really wants to. I think it can put him in a bad light, and I
Yeah.
think like as a publicist, I kind of understand because if your client or you just know that you're not trained to answer certain questions or it can make you look bad, avoid it.
Mhm.
But with that said, I think he does lose like a little bit of respect sometimes from the community because it's like these people are, trained and they have the history, they have the knowledge, they have the research to kind of know like what are things that the audience and the community wants to know. Like
Yeah.
they're tapped into the source. So I think a lot of that is like a missed opportunity, honestly, for just getting like deeper answers or deeper types of questions that people have wanted to know. But from a PR perspective, like he avoids it because he doesn't want to necessarily answer those hard questions. He's been accused of being a culture vulture, right? And like sitting down and doing one of his first interviews since like the whole beef has started with a white woman, Bobby. It's kind of like that was the feedback. Like, why'd you choose to do it with
Yeah.
her out of all people? It's like you couldn't find anyone who would talk about the real because Bobby is not pressing you in that way, you
Yeah.
know? So
And that, and yeah, and I, speaking from a journalist and understanding, the stance of the other journalists in the space who share that sentiment of like he should do traditional media. I get where they're coming from. I have to compromise my kind of role with my fandom and just also like feeling like some people's motivations are very selfish. I think some people just want the interview for themselves.
oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's not even why are you talking to them? It's like, why are you not talking to me? Like,
That's a good point.
so I think that's part of it with some people. I think with some other people, kind of like what I said before, like a lot of them just want to hear about the beef. Like they want to hear about how he's feeling after it. They want to ask certain things like why he made certain decisions. Is the daughter real? Like where'd you get the Dave Free rumor? All this stuff. And I think he, similar to Thug, he wants to control his narrative, and he's kind of always been that way. Like several years ago, he got burned by Rolling Stone in an interview, and so he's been weird with media really ever since then. Like,
yeah.
he really picks and chooses, and I think if you look at the critical reception that he gets every time he drops an album and the way people kind of psychoanalyze him over the music, like I think he just doesn't I don't think he trusts traditional media.
And like, I get that. And I will say, like, people should not feel entitled to this man's time. They shouldn't feel entitled to certain interviews. Like, just because you've been, you know, somewhere 5-10 years, it's still about being an innovator. You know, it's still about being a tastemaker at the end of the day. And like, yes, like your job is to deliver the news, but also we're in a world now where like the way that news delivered is different. You know, the media landscape has changed a lot. And so I do feel like it is the responsibility of the people who are in this space to keep up, be innovative, be creative, and not feel entitled, you know, because things are changing. And so if somebody doesn't want to do a sit down interview in a room with a mic and you, and that's the way it's always been, it's like we have to look at the times, right? Like, look at what Guy is doing. And he's not a journalist by any means. A lot of people who are doing interviews now are not journalists and are not trained by any means, but content is where the value is in these spaces for these artists. So I do think, you know, it should be the responsibility of the industry to kind of look at that and figure out ways to incorporate that. So I won't say that, you know, the industry is not to blame, you know, because we do need to figure out ways to get more creative, be more interesting. Like if you're on camera and you're a host, like that's kind of what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to say it nicely, I think a lot of people who want the interview may not do the best job with it, to be honest. Like,
or it's just not in the way that people want anymore. Like, the media has trends, and like certain interview styles are trends of the past, you know. And I think that's just where we need to realize, like, those things are changing for good or for worse. And, you know, it's on us to kind of keep up with those industry trends. You know, content is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be interesting. And with somebody like Drake, where you have so much room to have fun and be creative, because clearly he's down, there, we should do that. Like, let's do something fun.
Yeah, I agree. Cool. I wanted a publicist's opinion because I haven't talked to any like publicists about it at all. So that's very valuable. But yeah, so he's got new music out. Again, album should be out sometime in the fall, so we'll see. He's never gonna stop being a topic. I'm sure something's gonna happen next week that we'll be talking about on the show. So yeah, just you guys stay locked in for that. Justin Bieber Swag 2 came out this past weekend. First, how'd you feel about Swag, which dropped same day as Giveon and Clips? And then how'd you feel knowing he had another 22 songs coming this weekend?
So the first drop I was excited about for sure. I've always been a Bieber fan. I'm not gonna lie though, I pressed play on Giveon first that day because I'm an R&B girl before that. But you know, it was refreshing to see like Justin do what he did on that project. I think it was like very nostalgic for me. There were a few songs I really, really loved, but it felt a little like teeny bop-ish for me at times. The skits were interesting. And then to see Swag 2 with that many songs, I haven't gotten through it yet.
It was overwhelming.
But so far, the first listen through, it wasn't anything like crazy. It just kind of felt like background music. Like I could shop to this at Marshall's, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It took me some time to like kind of, you know, when you hear a song that's dope, you like perk up and you look to see what it's named. And so
Right. I love when that happens.
Yeah.
It didn't happen for me on this.
It took me like 4 songs. So Speed Demon was mad, Better Man was mad, Love Song was good. I Do was the one that I really loved. Like
I like that one too.
I Think You're Special was good, and then it kind of, you know, went down a little bit.
That one was like the Hailey Bieber tribute, was it? I Think You're
Mother
Special.
and You.
Okay, yeah.
It was I Think You're Special, and then Mother and You was right after.
Well, good thing he's shouting out his wife.
Yeah, no, he's a real lover too.
But
But
least he could do.
but it's just it was. I think it was very ambitious. I think maybe he felt obliged to give his fans a lot of music because he hasn't dropped in like 4 years. But I think for a listening experience where I didn't feel tired and things could be more memorable, this was just too many songs. And a lot of them, I don't want to say they sounded exactly the same, but there wasn't enough difference in them to like I said, I had my standouts, but it was just too much. Like I wish he focused on just making a really good album. But I do like that on Swag 2, he sang more. Like his vocals on Swag were like kind of weird. There were a lot of filters, and he was just doing a lot of different things. This one, it's more of his pure vocals there. He taps more into his like R&B, pop, soul type stuff, like his like Jesse McCartney type bag, with a little hip hop influence. But overall, like as I was listening to it today on my commute, I was just like, I kept looking. I was like, all right, I want to get through this to be fair, but did you need all these songs, bro? Like you really didn't need all.
No, we
We
didn't.
didn't need all that.
We
We
didn't.
didn't need all
But
that.
you know, it's for somebody.
For
Somebody
sure.
out
Yeah.
there, I'm sure, will appreciate it. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, 22 brand new songs to
Mhm.
choose from.
On top of 21.
On top of 21. So, hey, did we need that much?
Yeah.
No. But when can we get enough Bieber?
Yeah.
I don't
So
know. Let the man live.
mhm. Yeah.
He's clearly in an age where he feels like he needs to get this music out.
For
So
sure.
I support the creativity
Yeah,
or
no.
the artist expression.
Yeah, I'm never mad to hear from him. I've always rocked a Biebs. And
Yeah.
again, there were some really, really good records on here. Like I ended up saving from the deluxe, like maybe around like 11 out of 22. So that's half. So that's a pretty good ratio.
hmm
But yeah, just that on top of Swag, which dropped like what, a month and a half ago. Like it was just a lot. But
Is there anyone that you feel like you would want more music from who doesn't drop enough? Like if they were to drop a 22 track additional project, you would be like, yes, give me this? Or is this applied to like everyone?
I mean, I listened to every Drake album, and he hasn't gone under 20 in a long time. So you know, I accept 20 plus from him. Bad Bunny,
Okay.
anytime I'll take whatever Bad Bunny drops. But like, I think maybe like a couple albums ago, he dropped like a 20 plus song album. I was locked in.
Do you speak Spanish?
I am
You
good.
understand?
I'm like approaching fluency.
Okay.
I've been taking Spanish my whole life, and then I do Duolingo every day. So,
Oh wow!
yeah,
and then
yeah.
on top of listening to Bad Bunny, you get
Exactly.
your
I'm learning.
daily skills in.
I'm
Nice.
learning. Yeah. I'm
That's
good
cool.
with it.
I love Bad Bunny and J Balvin.
J Balvin's dope too, for
Love
sure.
J
For sure.
Balvin.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of talent over there. I'm a huge Black fan. Some people call him Six Lack, but
Yeah, I call him
he's-
Six Lack.
yeah, like so I'd take 20 songs from him, because he's like legit my number two. Like it's Drake and then it's him. Like I love Black. Like,
Okay.
everything he does is super dope. So I'd take 20 songs. But yeah, not too many people. Not too many people that I would sit through 90 minutes or more of music from. So
That's fair.
yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
fair
and
critique.
it's like that's kind of the nature of music nowadays. I know we say people try to game streaming by putting out more music and hoping more stuff sticks, and so it almost feels like lame to give that critique of, oh, this was too long. But when you hear the music and you like can like put together your own really good like 12 song album from a 25 song album, it's just like, damn, if only you exercise this self-control in the studio. But again, some artists want to give their fans more music. I'm not mad at it. I'll accept whatever someone wants to give me, but you know, I am gonna have my
Mhm.
my opinion on it. So
Well, it's important too to say that not every like track was like a full song too.
yeah.
There was like skits.
Mhm.
Some songs are 10-second songs. Some beats are like 10 seconds and
yeah.
appear on the project too. So I
Yeah.
think that's like also the unconventional, you
Yeah.
know, thing.
Yeah. I think a lot of people confuse track length with runtime.
Mhm.
Like you can have a 25 song album that's like 30 minutes long.
That's true. Yeah.
So yeah, but overall, there's some really great stuff here. Like some Bieber records that I wouldn't put them up next to his best, but they reminded me like, oh shit, like when he's locked in, he can give us, you know, one of those ones where you like, I don't know, you just get that feeling. You get that Bieber feeling that you got back in the day when he dropped like all that matters. Or
Oh man. Oh, that brought me
fucking-
back.
Yeah, that's special times. That was like what, 2012 too. Goddamn.
Yeah. Oh.
Getting old.
What
old.
was journals? Journals.
Journals, yeah, that was around like
Mm.
20, I think that was 13, 14.
Yeah.
Great time.
It was like low key inappropriate for me to be listening to some of those songs,
Mm.
but you know, whatever.
Yeah, so Act 2, check it out. Give us you guys thoughts in the comments. You know, it's strap in because it's going to take you a while to get through all that music. But lastly, we've kind of touched on this a little bit. We've alluded to one of the albums, but what are your favorite albums of 2025 now that we're in the final third of the year? There's some big albums that are still to come, but there's been some really good stuff to come out this year. So what are your favorite albums this year?
That's a good question. You know, I actually surprisingly really love the 2 Chainz Larry June.
Mm.
Life is Beautiful. Hold on.
hmm
That was really up there for me. And then I'm gonna have to go the R&B route and put Givion's album up there. I think that was like one of the strongest albums of the year
Agree.
from the R&B side of things,
Completely agree.
I loved like literally every song has grown on me.
It's such an easy listen. Like you turn mud on, and then you get to what's it? The diamonds for your pain at the end. You know what? Run it back. Run it back.
It's so easy to listen to. It's
Yeah.
so seamless and like smooth. So like I said earlier, I listen to Giveon in the car. Like that's my daily life soundtrack right now.
Yeah.
Has a ton of replay value for me, and I can never get tired of his voice. So that's up there. And then honestly, I'm gonna have to put it is just dropped like last week, but El Mean, Heat the Streets,
Okay.
up there for me. It's like it's a slow burner. And I love it because I love listening to artists who don't feel like as known or as widely discovered yet. So if somebody's in my car, my thing is I like to put you on to music. Like I'm gonna 10 out of 10 play something that you've never heard before.
Yeah.
So with this project, I felt like I was really early to it. Like I happened to be driving or around the time it came out, 9:01 in LA, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is fire. So I posted something on my story like within the first 10 minutes of it dropping, and I just felt like, yeah, I put people on. But no, he's really fire. He's a great artist. I think it's like a very solid R&B project.
Yeah.
There's others. I'm blanking though.
Yeah, it's hard to remember. I've got like a running list of projects, like my honorable mentions and my top 10, which I've had to move it around because of a couple recent drops, like the Mariah the Scientist album. I love that.
Oh yes, how did I forget that one?
So good, so fucking good. The Giveon album is in my top 5 for the year. Nippa's album, like there's a lot. It's like 2025 started out slow, but like from I don't know, maybe the last like five to 6 months like have been pretty good. So yeah, there's a lot. So I'm gonna have some tough decisions to make in December when it's all said and done, and I gotta really arrange things. But
do you listen to more hip hop or R&B?
These days, more R&B.
Yeah,
hip hop has not moved me much these last couple years. And I grew up an R&B guy. Like I was in my bedroom playing Usher 8701 on my CD player with headphones in, like. And then I was a huge Neo stan when I was young, and Wale I love. Obviously he's a rapper, but he does the R&B type stuff, and he writes really well. He kind of writes like an R&B singer, but in rap form. And Usher Kid, like I said, who else did I really love? And then eventually transitioned to Black. So R&B is my first love. Like
R&B's in a great place.
Yeah, it is. It is, and it's so funny because for years people were having the R&B is dead conversations, and they couldn't have been more wrong. Like it was ignorant then, but it's really ignorant now. Like looking at everyone that we have. So yeah, it's been a strong last few years for R&B, but especially this year, it's been monster. So
yeah, and there's so many like dope up and coming artists who are in that space who I just really feel like that's my vibe too. Like I am all for the people who are just carving a new lane and doing something for themselves that's like, wow, like you can feel the passion. Like you can feel like, all right, like the rent is due. And they can sing.
Yeah, so. And like in what we do, it's dope to be excited about somebody new. Like it's cool to watch that journey for someone. So yeah, it's always dope to hear someone for the first time and then go check their Instagram and see how many followers they have, and then you come back 3 years later and it's like, yo, you're big, bro. What the fuck?
Right.
You really grinded and got there. So
somebody that happened to me with was Isaiah Falls. And
Isaiah's dope.
Yeah, one of my homegirls, shout out Tia, works with him and manages him, and he just got off a tour. But like I got introduced to him like early in maybe 2020, and he was like very new still, and nobody knew him. And now just seeing where he is, he's still like obviously a rising artist, but seeing the moves that they're making together is just like, okay, like putting him in the room, cross collabs, and just like his voice alone, like talent, obviously, but social presence, marketing, collaborations, like being strategic about when you drop. It's all contributed to his growth in the best way. And I'm just super happy to like be able to witness it and be like, wow, I remember when this came out and when you were still here and now you are selling out your shows, on tour. So it's just cool. It's cool to see.
Yeah, you almost feel like a proud parent.
I do. And it's cool when it's like also your friends, like the people that you know and work with on a regular basis. It's like, wow, like these are my peers. Like they're all so talented. Yeah.
Absolutely. So one of two fun segments that I have prepared for you. We've talked about R&B a lot, and R&B goes hand in hand with being a hashtag real lover. So first I want to ask you about, you tweeted about R&B playlists and how you are a strict judge of them. So what are you looking for when you get an R&B playlist from someone? Does it have to do with, a mix of like old music and newer music? Is it the title? Is it how it's arranged? Do you want them to tell a story? Like what are you looking for in the Real Lover R&B playlist?
So if someone makes me a playlist, I do have pretty high expectations if it's like a romantic love R&B playlist. I do feel like the cover art matters, the title matters, the song sequencing matters, and of course the songs themselves. But I'm looking for like what message you're trying to, convey. And I think like it's more than just vibes. Like you can put a playlist together with the vibes, but I'm really about like, is there a storytelling? Because I'll catch it. Yeah. Like I am the type of person, like I'm very detail oriented. So if you do something where you're putting in those details, like I will catch it and I will notice it. But yeah, like for example, like somebody had made me a playlist. This was a couple years ago, but this was like when I was dating somebody. They made me a playlist and like towards the end of the playlist, it was like a song in there and it was like, want you to be my girl or something. And so the vibe of it, like at first was like, all right, getting to know you, like your vibe kind of thing. And then towards the middle, it was like, I'm feeling you, all this stuff. And then towards the end, it was kind of like will you be my girl? And I thought that was like hella cute, hella creative. And I could appreciate that because I'm like, it was intentional. Yeah. So
it's all about the attention to detail.
Yeah, and that was like some real lover shit in my opinion, like real ones, no.
So if you were starting a Real Lover R&B playlist right now, just give me the opening song.
Ooh, that's hard. Maybe it would probably be something Donnell Jones, to be honest.
Okay.
Maybe Jagged Edge.
Shout out to Jagged Edge. Those are my guys.
Maybe, I mean, obviously Usher. Usher's going to appear on the playlist several times.
Yeah.
Maybe Superstar by Usher.
I was literally just going to say Superstar or Throwback.
Oh, yes.
And it's crazy because those are like B-sides from him that are like hits. Like, to some people, they think they're his best songs ever, but because that album is just so iconic itself. So.
It's so iconic. Maybe like Alicia Keys' Diary. I love that song. I love a song where I can like sing at the top of my lungs and like word for word feel the emotion in it. That's my favorite kind of music. So
absolutely.
It would have to start with that.
Okay. I respect that. Now, I feel like a lot of people try to appropriate our Real Lover lifestyle, but they don't really live it. Like they're not really about this like real, like real affectionate, real yearning type stuff. Like they just want to be part of it for, the look on social media. So give me like your 3 bylaws of what characteristics are required of someone to properly consider themselves a real lover.
Okay, well, I would say one characteristic of a real lover is being able to communicate your feelings. Like, I think that's number 1, but not everyone has the skill, to communicate how they really feel. And I think like there's a way to do so to where like if you can communicate and understand equally, then that's just right off bat. Like you can understand my language, I can understand yours. We can get somewhere. Like it's a deep place we can go with just understanding emotions and feelings. So emotionally in tune is number 1.
Big facts.
Number 2, I would say you are you pay attention to the little things. Like, you're
Mm.
detail oriented. You know, if I mention something about something I need or something I like maybe a week ago, and then the next day, you know, it appears in something or you pop up with it, and I'm like, wow, you know, like, you really pay attention, you're really thoughtful. Like, those little details go a long way. It could be like what flavor of coffee I like, you know, and it could be like just something that shows that you pay attention to the little things, and like something very particular that I wouldn't expect somebody to remember. It's like, oh, okay, notes taken, notes taken. Because I'm that way, you know, and I'm like, I love giving like personalized gifts
For
too.
sure.
So when it's like holiday season, I'm like, I want my gift to be like your favorite, like best gift that you get that day, you know, because I know you the best, or like I would like to think so. So I want to give you something that reflects how well I know you, how well I pay attention.
So
So
it's not about the dollar amount. It's about, you know, the memory to attach to
yeah,
something. Or just
no,
like
it's never, it's
that light
not.
bulb going off. Like, oh shit, you remember that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Being a real lover is never about financial gifts or monetary gifts, honestly. It's really about the thoughtfulness, communication, being able to receive love, give love in a way that your partner wants, you know? And I think like a good partner recognizes that. So,
Yeah.
And then there's one more, right?
Yes.
Okay. Quality. I would say probably, I can't think. Just, I don't know, being romantic. I would say, like, to be a real lover, you got to be romantic, of course. And that means a lot of things, but like, do the romantic, corny things that you think, you know, is corny.
Absolutely.
It's not corny to me.
Yeah.
Like, I want candle lit. I appreciate that. Like, music playing in the background for a date night. Like, yes, you know, something cute, something thoughtful and romantic. Like, dim the lights, pour a glass of wine, get the chocolate and the strawberries.
Yeah, it's cliche, but hey, it hits.
It does. It's such a vibe.
Yeah.
And if you really have ever been in lover boy mode or lover girl mode, like, you would know, like, it is a vibe, and it's different, you know, for every experience. Your person and you have your things that you do together. But if you can make that romantic, like, do it. Take it to the next level.
Now, is falling for someone fast, in your perspective, is that a good thing or a bad thing, or is it a case by case situation?
Well, I'm guilty.
Me too. I might tell you I love you after a week.
You know, I think that's one of the qualities actually too of being a lover boy or lover girl is like you fall fast. You know?
Get into it. You really get into it.
You see the best qualities of that person right away, and like, you're usually an optimist, usually have good intentions going into things. And so you're picturing like best case scenario, best case outcome. Like, I can see us at the altar, you know, I'm envisioning the wedding,
the
all
future,
the things,
all that,
all the things. And of course, over time, as you get to know somebody, that can make or break the vision for sure. But I do start out a lot of times with like a certain feeling and vision of being like, wow, like, I romanticize everything.
Absolutely.
You know, so in turn, that causes me to like just fall fast for people and not really maybe pay attention to like the red flags right away.
Yeah.
But I don't blame myself for that because, you know,
it's a human desire. We all want to be loved, and it's natural to get excited about someone and to think about all the good things that can come from it. I over the years, I've had to slow myself down a little bit, be a little more patient.
Right.
You know, you got to get to know someone in
have to
all
learn.
phases.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be surprised like 6 months down the road, like, oh shit, you're like this? Like, what the fuck? You're not the person I thought you were.
Yeah. And that's when you, I feel like, can decide to kind of pull back. But I'm not jaded, and I would never want somebody to experience like a jaded version of myself. Be like, well, I'm going to hold back because I don't know, you could be like this. I'm like, if I feel it and you bring that out of me, great. I'm going to act that way. If I get hurt from this, whatever, that's on me. You're not the one. Yeah. But it's not going to stop me from moving that way, because if that's you, you know.
Last question. Do real lovers have a little bit of toxicity in them?
I don't. Why do people ask me this?
Are you a block spinner, Tallie? Do you spin the block on people?
I'm not going to say that I haven't done it. And I'm not going to say I haven't had my moments, where it could be perceived as toxic, quote unquote, but I wouldn't say real lovers are toxic. That's like not the quote, but I will say like sometimes we're passionate people.
It's a great way of putting it.
I think
that's what I be trying to tell people.
It's not toxic, it's passion. It's passion. Yeah, I think it just depends. It's case by case, but I would never say like real toxicity. That's bad. But I think a certain level of like passion can get to a point of like, all right, this is like too much, and you need to know how to control it. So, yeah.
And also not even just passion with like for the person, but just passion in life in general. Like seeing you just love doing something, whether it's your fitness, whether it's writing, whether it's sports, like just like I'm attracted to that, and I like ambition too. And so like I definitely don't want people to try and like, what's the word, confuse passion for toxicity, because they're very,
it's a fine line. It's a fine line for sure. Yeah. I just think the toxic aspect of a relationship is like it's a negative feeling, and that's where I say like toxic is negative, passion is positive. So do what you want with that info.
I had to ask because I think you're the type of person who allows people to have their human moments, and human moments can be perceived. The passion can be perceived as toxic. So.
I have my human moments. Yeah. And people ask me all the time if I'm toxic. People assume that I am.
Why?
I don't know. I'm like, do I give toxic? I don't know. I didn't think I did, but I've been told that by like people just based on outside observation. I'm like, whatever that means. I think it's honestly just because I do work in music, and so people kind of living in LA, people attach that as part of my brand. Like, oh, she's this or she's that. But I'm like the most down to earth lover girl. That It's like, yes, I have my toxic moments. Been there, done that. However, I'm not a toxic person. It's like you can be a bad bitch with a good heart. Bad bitch, not a bad person.
That's a bar. That's a bar. Well, shout out to you. Listeners, please let us know what you think are part of the Real Lover bylaws, and we'll let you know if you can sit with us or not at the Real Lovers table.
It's strict.
It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone. You got to pay your membership fee. You know, you kind of have a trial period, and it's tough over here.
Yeah.
But before we get into the interview, I got a rapid fire segment for you called Tallie's Top 2. I'm going to give you a topic, and you give me your top 2 within whatever that is.
Okay.
Makes sense? You
ready?
All
right. Yeah.
Okay. Places you've traveled.
Top 2. Italy and Mexico.
Okay. Your top 2 restaurants in LA.
Oh my gosh. I love this one restaurant. I almost don't want to
You want to gatekeep?
Say it. I want to gatekeep. Bring gatekeeping back. It's called Cento. It's an Italian spot. I love it. And this restaurant called AOC.
Okay.
Yeah, they have really great wine.
All right, I'll have to check those out next time I go. Top 2 interviews that you've done in your career.
Top 2 interviews I've done. Maybe Lotto when she first came out, because she was still mulatto at the time. She changed her name to Lotto. And Will Smith.
Wow, when did you talk to Will Smith?
Bad Boys premiere.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah,
that's so
it was him and Martin Lawrence together.
That's bucket list.
Yeah, it was great. It was such a great moment.
Super dope. Top 2 types of workouts.
Ooh, leg day. Love a good deadlift. And I hate cardio, but I love cardio. Cardio makes you skinny.
It's the thing you love to hate to love.
Yeah.
I get that. I feel that too. Yeah. Top 2 favorite R&B artists of all time.
Usher. Alicia Keys.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was growing up, though. Those were my 2. Like My Boo, of course, and then you got the No Ones and the Diaries, and you can go on and on. Lastly, top 2 favorite albums of all time.
Oh my gosh. college dropout.
Okay. Classic.
And honestly, I would probably say like a Drake album, like Take Care.
Okay.
Yeah, I love
Respect
Take
that.
Care so much.
Respect that. Great taste. So back to your Twitter. You quoted this tweet the other day. You got to be serious about your life without taking life too serious. And I felt that. I feel like similar to what you said in quoting it, I feel like I've mastered that these last couple years. And so I think that every experience that we have in life kind of builds up to our ability to take ourselves seriously and be confident in ourselves, but also have that willingness to kind of be like, whatever happens, happens. And I don't need to like overly stress about this. And so we'll eventually get to you reaching that point, but I want to take it back to the beginning. Are you born and raised in LA?
Yeah, born and
Okay.
raised.
Nice.
I'm from a city called Torrance, which is
Okay.
in the South Bay.
Nice. What was like 4-year-old Tallie? What did 4-year-old Tallie want to be? What were you involved in when you were young? Just give me the background story.
Or so I'm like somebody, I don't have like the best memory, honestly. But in general, I will say like when I was young, when I wanted to be a singer when I grew up. And like, mind you, I can't sing. And I made this discovery, like my parents got married when I was 10 or 11, and I sang at the wedding. Like I begged my mom to sing at the wedding because I don't know. I just love to sing. And I was like, my plan is to be a singer. Like I'm going to sing. I sang a Jessica Simpson song, like Take My Breath Away by Jessica Simpson. And everyone came up to me like, you are so good, so good. Can I get your autograph? Blah, 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 blah. And so, that launched my like stardom. But eventually, as you go through life, you record yourself, or you get a laptop and you like start singing. And then you're like, this doesn't sound like what I hear on the radio. Like, I don't think I have the gift. And I didn't have the gift. So that dream was over. And then I didn't know, but I always knew I wanted to work in entertainment in some capacity.
Yeah.
And like, I thought that looked like the business side of entertainment, quote unquote. Like when I went to school, I studied communications and I was like, maybe I should get a business degree because I want to be in the business. But living in LA and like growing up with a lot of people who became artists and managers and publicists and that kind of thing, it made it a little bit easier to see that path. But for me, I was always great at writing, just like learning that through my communications program schools. And then interviewing was something I picked up when I got a journalism degree. So I realized like I loved telling stories, I loved writing, and that was, the origins.
Well, what made you choose Loyola Marymount? Because that's quite a trip from Cali to Maryland. Like that's
so no, LMU, there's one in LA. There's two. There's Loyola Chicago and LMU in
there's a Loyola in Maryland too. Maybe I might be thinking of the wrong school. Let me look it up real quick, but continue.
Okay. Yeah. There is a few Loyolas, and then they have Loyola Law School too, which is all over the place. But LMU, the one I went to, is in LA, and it was like a private, small Jesuit school. So it was really small, and I liked it. I picked it because I ended up getting like a scholarship to
Shout
go.
out to that.
I applied to Howard. That was like my other top choice, and I toured it and like really, really loved it. But they weren't trying to give me any financial aid or anything. So I was like, do I pick debt or do I go where the money is? Obviously, so it was kind of an easy choice.
You have siblings, right?
I have 3 sisters.
Wow.
I'm the oldest.
Oh, shout out to that.
Firstborn.
How's that experience? I'm the youngest of 2, and so my brother and I are very competitive. We have a 4-year gap between us. So like when I was graduating middle school, he was graduating high school, and then while I was graduating high school, he was graduating college. So he kind of always overshadowed me. And then we played the same sports growing up, so it was always like just super competitive and egos and stuff. And so for you, like, what's the experience like being the oldest, and like, what are the gaps between like you and your sisters?
Yeah, so any first child knows that, being the oldest comes with a load of responsibilities. You are first in a lot of ways, beside just, being born first. Like for me, I was first in my family to go to college. And so it was really like setting like a footprint, but also you have this like built-in kind of drive. Like for me, built-in hustle mentality. And yes, like my parents taught me it to a certain extent, but it was always something where I'm like, I know what I'm trying to do. I know where I'm trying to get to. I have goals I want to reach. Like that's always been ingrained in me. And so having a younger sister, I grew up with my younger sister is 7 years old, and then my mom got remarried and had two more who are like technically my half sisters, but I never call them half sisters. We're just all my sisters. But they're like the babies of the family now. So we have obviously like a 20 plus year age gap. However, it's like I love having like sisters who look up to me and being in a position where like I can show up with like cool gifts or souvenirs from the places I've traveled. I'm like the auntie, who like comes back with all the stories, all the gifts, all the food. I know all the spots. Like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. And we have a really close bond, all of us. We're really like funny in our own ways when we're together. So I love having sisters, and I can't wait till like they all grow up and we all get to go somewhere together one day. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, I always wanted a little sister. I would tell my mom like, "Yo, just y'all can have one more. Like y'all can have one more. It's cool. Just have one more. Like I would love a little sister." So that's dope to hear.
Yeah, I've always wanted a brother, but it's never happened.
Yeah, tartar sauce. So what kind of things were you involved in at LMU? Because obviously you eventually went on to USC, got your master's degree in journalism, but those steps beforehand, like were you writing for a school paper or in any clubs that kind of, when you look back, it makes sense, like the path you went on?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was one of those people. I had an internship every semester, and I was very intentional about like working in media and entertainment. So I had hella internships like everywhere from E! News to Fox. And I was in multiple departments, and then on campus, like I did work at the student ran TV network. I never actually wrote for like the school newspaper or anything or site like that, but I did work in like the video side of things, and I was like a student career mentor. I worked in graduate admissions. Like I had hella jobs all throughout college, but looking back, like all of those experiences definitely got me to where I was. I went to grad school like as soon as I graduated, pretty much. I ended up getting like a full scholarship to go to grad school.
Shout out to
And
that.
that was the one thing that made me like end up committing, because USC was the only school I applied for. I'm like, if I don't, get in, I'm not going to grad school kind of thing. It was like on a whim. I've heard good things about the program, and I was like, I want to explore this more. And just USC has a great alumni network. So I was like, let me just apply. And I did. They loved my personal statement. And the program ended up being like one of the best decisions of my life. It was like the glue to all my experiences, to be like, all right, I can take this, this, and this and do this with it, So it just felt like it gave me the tools of like really being a multimedia journalist and like really creating a lane for myself and being able to use the skills that I've built to be like, I've had all this experience throughout the years. Like my resume is crazy, but how do you use it? How do you use those skills? So yeah, school played a big role for me in that.
Yeah, I was considering grad school myself. I ended up not doing it, and sometimes I think like, damn, what if I did? I mean, I think I'm doing pretty okay for myself right now.
So many people like are doing great without even going to school. So it's like it's different for everyone, and I have that conversation a lot with people who reach out to me like, oh, is grad school worth it? Should I apply? Is it worth it? For me, the answer is an easy yes, but I also can't imagine my life without it. But I also know people who are doing like amazing without ever having to go to undergrad in general. So each path is different, especially in like the media space or entertainment space at all. I think it's just now more than ever, there's so many ways to kind of like build your own lane and create opportunities. So
which is just cool. You meet people from all different walks of life. Some people who didn't go to school at all and are, doing really great for themselves. And
yeah. Some people drop out.
Yeah. So it's cool.
Yeah.
It's
I don't knock anyone who doesn't, it's a big like financial commitment. And honestly, had I not had any scholarship, I probably wouldn't have done it just
Mhm.
because, like I mentioned, I'm first gen, aka I don't have money for college. And you know, you really gotta like figure it out as you go. Like I didn't know what networking was. I didn't know how to put a cover letter together, but school, you know, taught me all these things. So for me, I felt like it was important to do it just because I'm first and somebody got to do it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it had more like sentiment for me, I think.
Your program at USC, that was 2 years, right?
1 year.
1 year, okay.
1 year, but it was like 9 to 5, like
Right.
every day. So it was like, it was full time.
Okay, so you were done in 2019.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Okay, so from there, 2 degrees, you know, paying those student, well, you got the full ride to USC.
Well, I still have some student loans from LMU because
Yeah.
I wanted to live on campus.
Mhm.
So I took out like loans to
Yeah.
pay my tuition.
I'm still paying mine off too. I graduated in 2017, and you know, it's been a journey. But
Yeah,
it's
you know, one thing I will say, don't let them loans hold you back.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm living life. They're getting handled, but you know, I'm not.
They're an afterthought.
Yeah.
I think of it as another bill, and it's not as crippling as I thought it was going to be, honestly. And that was like a big decision before I even decided wanting to go to school. I cried about it to my grandma. I'm like, I don't want to be in debt for the rest of my life. I remember telling her, no one's going to want to marry me once they see how much debt I have.
It's the real lover in you.
I'm like, my kids are going to inherit, like just every worst case scenario before I even made the decision to go to school came up. And a big part of it was debt related. But I will say I do not think about them loans. Like they're an afterthought now.
Yeah, that's the spirit. All right, so you're out 2 degrees up, feeling great, you know. What's like the first big opportunity that you got that you were like, oh shit, like I might be here. Like obviously, like you said, you interned a bunch of different places. Your resume was damn near stacked already. But like, what was that first opportunity where you were just like,
oh my gosh. So like pretty much right after graduation, I got my dream job at Good Morning America here in New York. And so I packed up my stuff and like moved to New York.
I didn't know you lived out here. Wow.
Yeah. I was only here for 3 months.
Okay.
Story time. But yeah, it was like, it felt like things were just on the path. Like I just felt like, wow, this is going exactly how I planned, if not better. And I was just so grateful to be like, this is like where I want to be. Like I was a big Being Mary Jane fan. So after seeing that show and then working at Good Morning America, I was like, my life is like being Mary Jane. So with that said, you know, it was like a fellowship and with the option like at the end, pretty much like once you're done, you're pretty much working with them. And so basically, long story short, like I liked my time there, but it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. It's not exactly what I thought it was. It was like way more corporate than I thought it was going to be. And like my commute was harsh. Like this was probably like the hardest I've ever worked in general. Like my schedule was very demanding. I had to be at the studio sometimes at 4 a.m. And like, mind you, I was commuting from Brooklyn. So taking the J train, which was like a scary train to be on, number one, at 4 a.m, having to walk 5-10 minutes through the neighborhood I had to walk through, you know, being a girl, being out here by yourself, it was demanding. Yeah. And like there was a lot of times I felt like, I don't know if I'm built for this, you know? So I made the decision to leave after it was done. And I came back to LA. A month later, I got a job with Insider and I was like a visual features reporter. So I was in the city, like photographing different things for visual features and like writing it up. Again, that was fun, but like corporate. And it was stressful. It was like very demanding. And then maybe 3 months after that, COVID happened. COVID happened, and that was the last job I had since then. And I worked for myself ever since.
Yeah. Those moments where you identified those things weren't for you, because I think the name, you know, Good Morning America, Insider, it's like, it's just cool to say, yo, I work there, and tell people that. People have so much, you know, respect and admiration for it. And then the money is probably solid 2.
It was okay.
Yeah. But having those moments you were identified like that it wasn't for you, like was it tough to reach that point? Did you almost feel like you were like giving up or like failing yourself, or was it like what was that process like?
That's a good question. I will say, like, when you know something's for you, you can feel it, because the moment I realized like something was for me, I felt that too.
Yeah.
And that moment for me didn't happen until maybe like 6 months after, I got fired basically from the job or laid off because COVID. And then I started my platform. And the platform was like me trying to stay consistent with my resume so that there was no gaps. I was like, well, I need to continue to write. I
Yeah.
need to continue to like be up to date on what's happening in entertainment. So my platform was a blog, and I was just using it to like strengthen my portfolio and like fill in the gaps essentially. So I was like, whenever COVID ends, I can have a job again and like do that. But there was like one night I remember when I had started like an interview series on Remix. I was on Instagram Live like every other day, like interviewing random artists and like people. It was like their first time ever just talking to anyone on Instagram Live. It was like all the connection issues, like in the trenches.
Funny times. I was doing the exact same. So
it was like when everyone was on Instagram Live.
Literally everybody.
It was so much fun though. It was so much fun. I was going live every day on the blog, interviewing artists, musicians, managers, whoever.
Yeah.
And like it got to a point where I was getting hella inquiries, like a ton of inquiries for people to do like write-ups, interviews. And I just remember sitting in my living room trying to respond to all the inquiries like, this feels like meant for me. Like this feels like I can do this, I enjoy this. I was like making money at a certain point doing that, and like just navigated it from there. I was making connections, building relationships, through this platform that I was like, wow, wait, this like feels like something. Like it feels like I'm on the right path to something. So yeah, honestly, taking like all my experiences and then putting it into something to like be idly productive as COVID was happening turned into like the best decision of my life and something that led me on the path I'm at now. So yeah, like finding that took a whole bunch of no's, a whole bunch of like failure, honestly, and feeling like I wasn't good enough or I didn't belong here. I had imposter syndrome, and it all led me in the direction that I felt like, okay, this is what I'm meant to be doing. So
yeah. It's so fascinating that happens at like what I think most of us would consider like the worst period of our lives, just in terms of being stuck in the house.
It felt like the lowest point of my life.
Yeah. And for some people, they either just kind of like sat in that, or others like you, like myself, we decided to make something of it. Like I'd never had more time to write. So I was writing all the fucking time. My Medium page was booming. I got some pretty good bylines elsewhere, and yeah, it felt like a really like crazy career shifting point. So it's just interesting hearing your story and hearing a bunch of other people's stories of the things that they made themselves into during the pandemic, because you maybe that like first week when you're like, yo, I'm gonna just be stuck home, what the fuck am I gonna do, like so it's amazing. So Remix Mag is obviously doing extremely well now. It's several years since you started it. You also have people on your staff too, right?
Yeah, so I do have a small team, and I've had like several team members throughout the couple years. But yeah, like it transitioned into Remix PR, which is a branch of the company basically, and I work with artists, essentially a lot of independent artists, and I pitch them, for editorial coverage and support, pitch them for playlisting. I do interviews with them, basically, like, and I work on the label side as well with like their up and coming roster sometimes. So it's been cool to kind of like transition into that, because that was like independently, built, but it came from being able to advocate for independent artists through the platform that I was on, which started just from like me wanting to put people on and really speaking with people who have never had that platform. So at the root of it, it's always been rooted in like storytelling and yeah, tying like the independent artist need for that.
Mhm.
Like they need their stories told too. So I was like, I saw a need, saw an opportunity, and I was like, who better? Who better than me? No.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, this is a lane I could do, I could work with. If no one's willing to sit down with me, these independent artists could be the next big. You just never know,
Yeah.
and they're dope, to me. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think, building up the experience as a journalist, but also as a publicist, they kind of help one another. Like, how to properly approach a writer. And yeah, like you said, your network just kind of helps with the whole PR publicity side too. Like, so it's interesting. Like, is it tough balancing both at the same time?
At first, yes, like because I was really confused how the two could intersect,
Mhm.
because journalism is all about ethics and
Mhm.
it's like, based a certain way. But PR, from what I witnessed, is like low key. Although it goes hand in hand, it's low key like the complete opposite. You have
Yeah.
pay to play, you have, bribery, you have all the
Mhm.
things that's like get my client a look kind of thing. And like having the journalism ethics side of it, it's like, well, is there a story here? Or like, how is this going to benefit my audience kind of thing? Like,
Yeah.
I do understand both sides of it. And yeah, I guess that was like confusing for me in the beginning because I felt like I didn't want to blur the lines and I didn't want to be seen as like possibly like unethical in that way. So it was like something where I was like, okay, well, I need to make a distinction between like this is PR, this is, journalism. And I
Yeah.
think, I've tried to do that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I want to say it was like 2021 or 2022 when I started following you. I remember you were on this like Twitter Spaces with Billboard, I believe. It was like
Hmm.
you, Jordan Rose, and someone else.
Yeah. No, I think Narissa.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I listened to that and then I followed you. Then we ended up following each other on social media, on Instagram rather.
Hmm.
And then I see like the rap TV stuff. I see the hot freestyle stuff. I see the Rolling Loud stuff. Like, how did these opportunities come up? And like, well, what was the experience like working with these companies, especially Rolling Loud? Like, you're on the stream for everyone to see. You're talking to all the artists.
Oh
Like,
my
it's super
gosh.
dope stuff.
Yeah, no, thank you. Like those opportunities came when I don't even know how, to be honest. Looking back, it's like I almost forgot about those until you said that.
Mm,
But that was from like me just posting myself
mm,
honestly on social media and like I was still like freelance at the time. Like I still worked with Billboard pretty often for different stories and so I was always like editorial like writer side of things, but I take pictures of everything. Like I love to capture content. So I would post photos of myself doing the interview and eventually like posting clips of myself talking, asking the question as part of my personal content for social media. On top of what I was doing on the interview side with Remixed, the first opportunity that really came for me to like build something was with Hot Freestyle.
mm.
And that was like a social media DM, honestly. Um,
It's
they're
that easy sometimes.
they're based in Toronto. I actually DM'd them and reached out and said, "Hey, like, are you guys looking for anyone to host your content?" And they were like, "Yeah, actually, we have Ty Dolla Sign. We need somebody to do it. Can you do it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm trained. I got my master's like 6 months ago in journalism. So yeah, I'm looking for work." And then from there, my content performed really well. I think one of the first ones we did was with DDG.
Mm,
And it was like around the time where he was, like making music or first starting to make music. So the consistency of that led to the Rolling Loud producers finding me on YouTube. And like they sent me an email out the blue. I'll never forget. I thought it was spam because it was like a random Gmail, right? And
mm.
it was like Rolling Loud opportunity was like the subject. And it was like, hey, we want you to host the Rolling Loud New York live stream. Do you have time to talk this week? And that was it. That's all it said. No like official nothing, like no, just a name. And I'm like, I looked at it. I was like, this is strange,
Mm,
but I'm like, what if it's real? So yeah, it ended up being real.
mhm.
And from there, I became really close with the team. And like, that was like a big, moment that really launched like just me being able to have content, interview artists, and doing like what I'm doing at the peak level of
Yeah.
it. So it was definitely like a fun era in
Mhm.
life.
Now, how do you balance time for everything that you do on top of being a gym girly, on top of watching everything you watch and listening to all the music you listen to and trap like I feel like because
I haven't
I
traveled that much this year.
oh, you'll make up for it next year, I'm sure.
I hope
But
so.
like, because it sounds like is this work ethic something that was like instilled in you when you were younger by your folks, or did you kind of pick this up on your
Listen,
own?
I have my days. I don't have it together by any means.
Hey, I feel you.
I know it may seem that way,
Mm,
but I feel like you can't have it all at the same time.
mm,
There are areas in life where like my career, I was dedicating way more focus to that. There's times in my life where I've dedicated more time to traveling. There's
mm,
times in my life where I've dedicated more to the gym, and all in the name of trying to be well-rounded and
mm.
balanced, right? But it's like you can't give your attention to everything 24/7
Yeah.
constantly, Like I did experience like a bit of burnout within probably the last year
Mm,
where, I'm just doing so much. I had a podcast, I'm freelance, I'm like having my platform, I have clients with the PR firm, I'm trying to train a team. I had no time for the gym, I barely had time to travel. So it's like certain phases and certain times in life where like you kind of have to pick and choose what you're building at the time. Right now, my career is like not something I'm in the early stages of like necessarily building like that
yeah.
anymore. And of course, it's still in my everyday, but I do have a little bit more time to go to the gym now. And so that's been like a bigger focus for me because
Mm,
I'm really focused on health and like mentally. Like I have been in therapy for the last 2 years,
I love
just
that.
trying to, get my mental right and like make sure like I can properly show up the way I need to show up.
Yeah.
So with that being said, like it takes other things out of focus a little bit. It's because you
Yeah.
need to figure it out, while you go. Like your interests change, your hobbies change, your passions change. And
Yeah.
so you owe it to yourself to like really be in tune with like what that is and like explore that, because you can't be like a working horse 24/7 and be on the same path 24/7
Yeah.
and like think that that's gonna be the thing, because I don't know. There's so much shit that happens. Like life happens,
Yeah. No, you can't have it all. And I think people in our position maybe early on try to have it all. Like I was trying to do everything and be everywhere. And then also some people, when you reach a certain level, want you to be everywhere and want you to do everything. And so, it takes a while before you get comfortable saying no and being selective and also prioritizing yourself. Like now I'm 30 now, just turned 30 a couple months ago. And I talk about it so much just because like I feel like the switch went off where it's like I really value my weekends where I have nothing to do and can just be home and just play my PS5, chill, watch a
Mhm,
show,
mhm.
hang with my cat. But if this was like 5 years ago, I'd want to be outside every weekend. I
Mm.
feel like I have to come into the city and party or go to some show to meet
Right, right, right,
someone or
right. Yeah,
cover something.
that's very true.
And it's like, the music industry, it doesn't stop. There's gonna always be entertainment rather. There's always gonna be something you can do. Like
Yeah.
you're not really missing out. Like you're
No,
just
for sure.
missing one thing, but there's gonna be 10 more things within the week. So
That's exactly how I used to feel and
mhm,
see it. Because when you first start out, when I first started out, maybe like 6, 7 years ago at this
mhm,
point, like, yes, like I was very outside, but
mhm.
only because you have to be,
Yeah.
you have to kind of maintain those relationships. And it
Mhm,
wasn't until a point where I'm like, all right, I'm seeing the same people now at
mhm.
every party, multiple parties in a row kind of thing, where I was like, all right, I think I can chill for a bit. And I did, it started being a repetitive experience. And like, at the same time, you just don't have that same purpose anymore. So
Yeah.
I'm big on like being in a room when it's purposeful for
Yeah.
you, because outside of that, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I feel too. Like I'm so selective now, and again, like I told you on text this week, I live in Jersey too, so it's like being in the city all the time, having to catch a late bus back to Jersey just to come back for work in the morning. Like I'll be tired. I can't be up till 2 3 a.m. Every night anymore. Like I need my 6 to 7 hours. So
Yeah, facts.
it's very tough. Like and so I talked about this in your intro, but like I think someone who maybe sees your profile and sees everything you do might assume like, yo, she's Hollywood or she's not, she's
People assume that.
she might be
Yeah.
hard to speak to, but it's like through our interactions on whether it's social media or text, and then meeting you, I was like, yo, this is like genuinely one of the nicest and coolest people I've ever met. I'm not saying that just because like we're on camera here. Like that's like
Thank you.
I think you remember that night when we were on the beach with Mark and Gino, we were just talking for mad long. I was like, yo, this is mad cool. Like it's our first time meeting, but it feels like, we've known each other.
Right,
like,
right.
How have you kind of fought that urge? Because like what we do is cool. A lot of people see it as very cool. It's very fun. Obviously there's some stresses that people don't know about, but I think being in the rooms that we can be in and going to the places that we go, it can get in people's heads and they can kind of switch up on people and try to flex on people who don't even necessarily care about them. Like, so how have you maintained your down to earth nature in this very self-centered, narcissistic industry?
Yeah, because I've seen it. I know what you're talking about. But I would say like I'm not somebody who I associate myself with my job title or my work per se. Like, yes, it's a part of my life, but it's not my entire life.
Yeah.
And, a lot of my friends, my closest friends don't even like work in the industry, you know, because I love to do other things. Like, I just feel like I also grew up in LA and I didn't have like that, like, oh, I'm trying to move here and be a star kind of mentality. It was just like, this is just what life looks like. You work hard, you grind, you do X, Y, and Z, and nothing is given to you. Nothing is promised either. And like, I think like, you just can't let the clout get to you, honestly. But it's one thing knowing like when you truly work for some shit, like I've worked really hard to be where I'm at. I still am, and I'm not anywhere close to where I want to be. But I've acknowledged that all the opportunities that I've gotten have been a result of like the work that I've put in. And so that helps keep me like level, in the sense of like I still very much have had to work for this. Like nothing was handed to me. And it's very easy for people to discredit you. Like, oh, you're a pretty girl and they want to talk to you anyways. But I'm like, if you had only known. But I'm like, I'm just humble about it, and I have a life outside of this. Like, it's a big part of my life, but it's not my identity. And I think that's always something where it's like, if I want to ever pivot or transition into doing other things, I don't want, people to associate me with just one thing only. Like, I'm multifaceted. And so, I just think with that, it helps me not keep me tied to like, who are you? What do you do? What can you do for me? Like,
because it's tough because some people will only see you for what you do. Like I say this all the time, but when I run into someone who I haven't seen in a while and they're like, yo, the podcast is dope, or yo, the interviews you do are dope. And it's just like, I don't mind talking about it with someone that I haven't seen in a while. But like with my closest friends, I love that they aren't like enamored with what I do to where like I can just link with them and just talk about dumb shit. Like I don't have to be Armon the journalist. I don't want to be Armon the journalist, Armon the podcaster all the time. That they are parts of me and they have gotten me to where I am. And they're things I take pride in and I love. But, growing up, I never wanted to be put in a box. I played 3 sports. I was in the church choir. I did school plays. I was a National Honor Society community service. Like I did all this stuff. And while I may have reduced the things that I do so I have time for myself, like I still view myself as very versatile. And so I don't like when people, see the highlights and only try to make you be that one thing that they see. So I feel you a lot on that.
Yeah. Yeah. You just can't. Like, there's too much life to experience for that. And then I just feel like making something your entire personality, you're going to have a crisis if things don't go according to however you plan. And then like, unfortunately, like that's life, but fortunately it's like, there are so many things that you can do outside of this. So I just never want to tie myself to like one thing, you know?
I think that's a good transition. I was super excited when you launched Show Some Love. I loved the clips that you put out, the guests that you had, like having artists come on a show, but to be kind of having conversations in that arena. It's not your typical press run, like, oh, what's the story behind your album? What's the track list? Who are the features? Like you're getting them to open up about their experiences with love, give their perspectives on love. I thought it was such a cool concept, and you were cooking. You were super consistent. And then
thanks.
With a lot of podcasters, like I've done it myself. You've been on a hiatus, like, so is that something that you are looking to bring back at some point, or like, are you okay being like that was a chapter, I can close the door on that, and because now you're doing suburban too, so like, what's happening with Show Some Love, Real Lover?
Good question. Yeah, I mean, I loved making that show, producing it. I think for me, the biggest challenge was like keeping up with the consistency of it, because like I was doing everything myself, from shooting it to outsourcing editing to like I had a team too who was helping me produce episodes and bring in guests, but like most of it was me, you know, like 90% of it was me. And I loved it. And I'm really not sure if I plan to bring it back. I started it as like a way to have conversations about love that were like more regular for me. I was trying to get to the root of like, why is this generation not finding love? Why am I not finding love? Like, what's going on? And like, it turned into a spin of just, I'm asking rappers about it, which is like, I'm not going to get those answers, but it became like funny to me. I genuinely wanted to see like, how do people think about love? And like, you as a rapper, like, do you think about love or whatever? So it was cool. We had rappers, musicians, we had R&B artists, you know, people in the space, and it was fun. But right now, I'm hosting with Suburban, and I just honestly feel like it's a little bit more aligned with like topics that I wanted to cover. Like I just kind of wanted to do a little bit more outside of like music and entertainment.
Yeah.
So like on Suburban, we do talk about those things, but we also talk about like issues affecting the community. We talk about things local to LA, like nightlife and politics and like just things that are unique to like the LA community. So I just felt like that was a space where I can stay like consistent in terms of like expressing opinions, staying up to date on news. And I do have something brewing that is my own content series. So what it looks like, IDK yet, but soon. It's like in the brainstorm stages.
Exciting. Can't wait to hear it. I want to ask about LA because you know, you talked about it before. Like you weren't the person who was like, I'm going to move to LA and, you know, make my dreams happen because you grew up there. And a lot of people view LA that way. I know people who have moved out there and then ended up moving back home because things didn't happen for them. Like your perception growing up there, you know, obviously still being there, working in the entertainment industry there, like, what's your advice for someone who maybe wants to come to LA to try to make it happen and like really make it happen, not just on the surface make it happen, but like really, you know, thrive?
My advice for someone to thrive in LA would just to be maintaining like organic relationships and genuine connections, because you really do need a community to thrive out there. You need to find your people. So I would say like before you just kind of go like the transactional route, being like, what can you do for me? Who are you? Who do you know? I think go with like making the most organic, genuine connections that you can make. And then you would find your tribe. You know, there's like-minded people in every industry that you want to be part of. With entertainment specifically, same thing, you know, there's maybe more strategy involved in entertainment depending where you go. Like, you don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to be in every room, but study the business, know the people involved, and like, you know, align yourself with people who have like-minded mentalities first and foremost. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's great advice for like anywhere, but I think LA just has that stigma. Like,
yeah, it does.
That aura to it where it's like, oh, I can go there. I'll fucking go to some random like vegan restaurant and run into some CEO and boom, I'm rich and everything's working out. And it just doesn't happen that way for some people. Like, because there's a lot of people with the same mindset who are moving out there. Like it's competitive out there. So
yeah, it's competitive anywhere in any industry. Like at the end of the day, you got to be a hustler.
Absolutely.
If you want any type of real, you know, like if you have big goals, you got to hustle for it regardless. Like there's no way to avoid doing the work, you know?
Yeah. So to bring it full circle, you know, we talked about that quote, you got to take your life, you got to take yourself, take life, what was it? Take life seriously, without taking yourself too. You got to be serious about your life without taking life too
Mhm.
serious. And we
Love
talked
that.
a little bit about you being down to earth, but like so ultimately, you know, the Tallie Spencer today, um, who is she, and then ultimately, what do you want your legacy to be when it's all said
Mm,
and done?
wow. Great question. It's almost similar to like, how do you view your life in the next
Hmm
5 years?
Give me your 5-year plan, and then your 10-year plan.
Hate that question. No, I'm
I
kidding.
hate it too.
Um, okay. Well, I do feel like I have mastered the art of I take life seriously, but I have fun
Hmm
too. You know, I always have a trip to look forward to. I'm a positive, optimist person. I just believe that things will work out in my favor, and
Yeah.
they do. But I never stop doing the work. Like I work every day for the most part, and I still have a vision, you know? Like, and I think it's important for me to like hold on to that vision and like understand like the different, waves of my life and periods of my life that I'm in while acknowledging like I'm growing and I'm learning as a person. Like I don't have it all figured out. I don't
Yeah.
have the answers, but I'm doing the work every day to like get closer to those answers and like get closer to like the life that I want for myself. So, yeah, with that being said, I think I'm in a place where I'm really happy and proud of like the person that I am. And yeah, I want to continue to build off of those values and the things I've already built in a way that's like, all right, like I want this to be generational, you know? I want to have like a family where I can pour back into when it comes like all the things I've worked so hard for. I want us to be able to do things because of that. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to build, generational whatever.
hmm
So, yeah, I think that answered the
You
question.
did. You did. No, you smoked it. You smoked it.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you for coming through.
Thank
Good to
you.
see you again. Good to hear your story and see you thriving. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yay. Thank you for having me. Thanks for everyone for listening. So yeah, my Instagram is at Tallie Spencer, Tallie Spencer. And I'm on TikTok, Tallie with 3 A's. I'm gonna start posting more there.
Mhm.
And yeah, pretty much if you find my Instagram, you find everything else. So yeah.
You just gotta hit that link tree or whatever
Hit the link
you
tree.
have there.
Yeah. LinkedIn, all of that.
Yeah. So that is our public episode. So for all the people who are subscribed on Patreon, you know, you're gonna get to hear our slide deck for the week. But for those who are leaving, on behalf of myself, on behalf of Tallie, make sure that you stay safe, stay humble, and stay busy. For the Patreon users, we're gonna jump over to the slide deck portion right now. So let us see what Frank Ocean has to say.